am a second-year Asian American Studies major. So I am running for vice president, and one of my main goals is to definitely build a stronger connection with communities outside of HSU and outside of Davis. Because I feel like that's something that we are lacking here, is not building connections with other communities outside of HSU. And so by building that, we can collaborate with other organizations, such as the Vietnamese Student Association, the EOMN Student Association, or the Philadelphia community. And I believe that with this, we can benefit from gaining more networks so that we will be able to get their help when we want to fundraise or we want them to host workshops. We can definitely gain ideas, and that would improve our events. Or they could come and discuss what we can do to retain students in our events and what kind of events we should have to promote more students to come. I also believe that even though we are a resource, we can't do events by ourselves, and we can't make changes without having other resources come and help us as well. And I also believe that if we work with other organizations and collaborate with them, we can teach them about our culture and they teach us about their culture. And so I think that's one of the most important things that I really want to oversee next year. And I think a program that we recently did, or like a collaboration that we recently did, was the dance collaboration with DBA and VSA. And I just thought that was really powerful at the Asian Pacific Culture Night because it's different communities coming together and dancing with each other. And it's a collaboration, and it's like one movement together in one blood. And I just thought that's like such a big recognition for HSU, and I want more of that for HSU. And I want more programs that would allow our organizations to be known out there and not be underground and not be unknown. Because HSU it's not a clique, it's a club or organizations for students to come and feel like they're safe. And with that, I just want to say that there are other communities out there that they identify as Hmong, but they also identify as multiracial. They're mixed, or they identify as LGBTQ, which is lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, or queer. And I just feel like those communities we can definitely collaborate with. And sometimes students who feel like they are in a cultural class between the LGBTQ community and they also identify as Hmong, I think we really need to push on that community and invite them over to workshops or to talk to us about their own identity. Because I feel like with HSU, it's not really open to that subject because it's so sometimes taboo, sometimes there are topics that we don't really talk about. And so we get in touch with these communities and we build up and we grow stronger. I think that's what's most important. A big change for HSU, and it's changes that we want to have in HSU. Some of you or some people outside of HSU might be afraid to do this and might not want to take the challenge, but it's a risk that we all take to make changes, and if it works out, then it continues on. But if it doesn't work out, then we can definitely improve by bringing in different speakers and having different workshops. But that's what I really want to focus next year, is to build more connections and building a bridge to gap between our community and with communities outside. I also believe that we should focus more on cultural awareness. Even though we do have a cultural awareness position, I still believe that culture is so important because it's one of the aspects that makes us Hmong. Like without our culture, without our traditions, we don't call ourselves Hmong just because we live in America and we eat Hmong food, or we are born with Hmong. If you don't practice traditions, or if you don't even know your own language, if you don't really get involved with the culture, it's hard to say that you can identify as Hmong in this community. And I think that's what a lot of students outside of HSU that are Hmong don't come to HSU because sometimes they're afraid to identify themselves as Hmong, and they're not knowledgeable enough to know about Hmong culture. That's why I think we really need to promote cultural awareness. And one way I thought of was to bring in professors outside of Davis or even inside in Davis to give lectures or to speak more about the history of the Hmong students. And I feel like if we have events like that, or if we host, a meeting for that, I think it would definitely promote students to come because it's a part of their interest. They're not wasting their time to come and to just sit and, talk about the next event about hosting an ice cream or karaoke. We want to promote more like cultural awareness and the history behind the Hmong history of the Hmong people, and it's kind of like thinking what the members want. And I think having the members to support all of us and having the members to be there, because HSU is nothing without members, and definitely the HSU cabinet next year is definitely going to support the members as well, and being there to guide the members, and vice versa. I just feel like that's one of the most important one as well. Even though members don't have a role, like a task to do as part of the cabinet, I feel like it's definitely important to take in opinions and take in whatever workshops you want to see, because I feel like we can't really unite each other if we don't know what we all want. So it's best to just come up with an event for all of us to just gather up and care about other communities outside HSU and members who might not envision themselves as a Hmong member, but as an HSU member. But then, having events like that, they can definitely show up and show their support. We can definitely support them as whatever complications or struggles they might go through. Yes. Thank you. Yes, you?
Well, I think it's really great that you understand the importance of collaborating with others and using outside resources to help HSU along the way. But also, as a VP, it's my understanding that VP takes care of more of the internal affairs. So, with what you said, members are important. Members make up this organization. What is something that you saw this year that you would like to improve on for next year to help really retain the members and also recruit more members to HSU?
I think what I said before is to really make use of the members' time when they come to the meeting, because it's not just about sitting down and listening to the officers talk for the whole hour. That's a waste of my time, a waste of the officers' time as well if the members are not engaging. And I feel like we create meetings that focus on social political issues, that just relate to the members themselves. The members can relate to whatever we want to discuss as a union, as a group. And that's definitely recruiting students, and they can tell us about it. That I just went to a really cool meeting where we touch upon this kind of issue. We touch upon things that we want to happen for the club, and so I think that's one of my recruitment object. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I just have a series of questions. The first I want to ask is, I think he kind of touched on about, are you, I think you would be kind of awesome as the president. Kind of in the president, because like you said, the VP is, it's a quiet position, to say the least. So maybe a consideration. And I like your idea. I think it's a great structure, and you came prepared. It's awesome. You had your list, and that's a great sign. Not that everyone else wasn't, prepared, but I like that you came and you had an idea. This might be better for the future, but I do want to ask you, when you talk about collaboration, I do want to ask you, why do you think not just us as an organization, but Hmong people I want to think, like, my understanding is that Hmong people just can't collaborate, and that they're just innately, they're so exclusive that history has dictated that they're, that, you know, I mean, people will go, well, look, you know, the Hmong wanted sovereignty in China. They didn't want to, you know, give a shit about anyone else. They just wanted to be them and happy. You know, Randall Laos, they just want to be by themselves in the mountain. They don't want to, you know, incorporate anybody. Is it the same as they can, you know, in here? Is it that we don't want to associate with Indian people or Vietnamese or the Laotian because of Hmong? We're so proud. Is our ego getting in the way? Again, that's just a, you know, kind of a foundation, kind of a, you know. Is it, can you successfully theorize and perhaps offer a resolution to why we aren't collaborating? Because it seems so easy. It seems that you know, nowadays, you know, and of course you're in a different position, right? Because you can go, you know, ASA does this, ASA does that, and I've gone to these conferences, I've gone to the LGBTQ community, but it's like, I don't know how Hmong people are. And my idea is that, you know, it's a lot of interracial conflict, right?
Yeah.
We hate each other, don't we? I mean, that's a strong word, but I think that we refuse to work with each other.
I honestly think that it's a practice. Like, I think the more you do it, the better it gets. So it's definitely like starting off very, you know,